Hi, I'm Congressman Owen Pickett. Welcome to this month's edition of Virginia Beach Frontline Firefighter.
Hello and welcome to Virginia Beach Frontline Firefighter. Thanks for joining us. Coming up on this month's program, Captain George Hughes Jr. will talk about vehicle stabilization. Of course, our VBFD news segment with our newsreader Rob Ballantyne and his special guest this month. Battalion Chief R.B. Alley will also be joining us in the studio as he gives us an FLT update. And lastly, Firefighter Billy Reynolds is here with our health and fitness segment. So now let's join Captain George Hughes Jr. as he discusses vehicle stabilization.
Hello, I'm Master Firefighter George Hughes Jr. Recently, we've added some vehicle extrication equipment on the ladder trucks. This month, we'd like to go over how to use our pickets, chains, and come-alongs, stabilizing a vehicle on its side. Each ladder truck has 10 pickets and 5 pieces of rope to configure the picket systems. Each ladder truck has 4 20-foot chains, 1 15-foot chain, 2 1-foot chain shorteners. There are 2 different types of hooks attached to the chains. The bigger one is called a slip hook. This hook is designed to slip over the chain links. The other, smaller hook is a grab hook. It is designed to grab a link on the chain and not slip. Attach the hook over the entire link, not just through the middle. The ladder trucks have 2 come-alongs. The handles are usually stored separately to maximize space for storage. When in operation, the handle easily slides into a bracket. The cable is stored in the fully retracted position. To extend the cable, simply flip the lever on the handle bracket, then press the cable release button and extend out to the desired length. The cable can be hooked to the come-along to create a 2-to-1 mechanical advantage. This doubles the strength, but decreases the length of the cable by half. When you arrive at the scene, you should conduct a complete walk-around of the vehicle. This will help you look for hazards that you may not have seen on your approach. Hazards such as power lines, hazardous fluids, or possible fire hazards. You also need to look for any victims, their number, and location in the vehicle, plus the extent of injuries. When conducting the walk-around, remember to stay out of the hazard zones the vehicle on its side has created. The hazard zones are usually located about 10 feet from the roof and undercarriage of the vehicle. Cribbing increases the surface area contact of the vehicle to the ground. Use the butt end of a pike pole to position the cribbing. This avoids entering the hazard zone. Gently push cribbing into place. You are not trying to push the car over. You may also utilize wheel chocks, wedges, and step chocks when necessary. It is a good idea to place a safety person on one or both ends of the vehicle to look for any hazards and watch the stability of the vehicle. The safety person can also reassure the victims that are inside the vehicle. First, find a suitable location for the system. The location should be a 90-degree angle to the vehicle, or imagine making a T with the vehicle. Drive the first picket into the ground about 2/3 of its length. The picket should be about 10 to 15 degrees off vertical center opposite the load. Pickets should not be more than 3 feet apart. Once this is done, you need to connect the pickets with rope to complete the system. Tie a clove hitch with a safety on the first picket, then wrap the rope around the second picket. Wrapping from low to high will avoid entangling the rope. When you reach the end of the rope, tie another clove hitch with a safety. It does not have to be on the opposite picket. One person can handle this task, and another one can start on the second rope. The wraps of the rope on the high side of the system should be positioned at the highest point of the picket. When both ropes are tied, place a picket between the rope and the middle of the first two pickets. Twist the picket until the two pickets move inward slightly. Do not try and tighten the rope anymore. You are not trying to pull the pickets together, just creating tension. Drive the picket into the ground. This picket does not have to be driven in the full 2/3, just enough so it does not come out of the ground. Continue the same process for the second set of pickets.
Ready?
This creates a 1-to-1-to-1 picket system capable of holding 1,800 pounds in loamy soil. Another set of firefighters can begin setting the chains. When connecting the chains, remember to avoid walking into the hazard zone. When connecting the chains to the vehicle, you need to attach them as high and as wide as you can. With so many vehicles on the road, each vehicle may have different locations to attach the chains. The frame of the vehicles, bumper brackets, and transportation hooks are good locations on many vehicles. Avoid using the suspension of the vehicles. Suspensions on vehicles are designed to move, and when stabilizing vehicles, we do not want them to move. Connect the chains together. A good way to accomplish this task is to take one end of the chain, connect it to the other chain about a quarter from the end. Grab the chain and find the middle, and connect the come-along to it. Place the hook of the come-along in an up position so it will be driven down if it bends. Attach the come-along to the picket system and get ready to take up the slack. One person should make the commands when tensioning the system. The basic commands are tension, slack, and stop. When tensioning, you do not want to pull the car over. Simply take up slack so there is tension on the system. This completes an opposing forces, same side stabilization system. This is just one example of stabilizing a vehicle on its side. There are several scenarios that can occur with vehicles on their side. Each scene is different, so practice with your equipment so you're familiar on its capabilities and limitations. For this month's Virginia Beach Frontline Firefighter, I'm Master Firefighter George Hughes, Jr.
So this month's apparatus quick tip is brake caliper lubrication and speedometer cable lubrication if your vehicle is equipped with them. At the rear calipers, you have two grease fittings. The slack adjuster right there on the top and the caliper fitting. One on the left-hand side, which is a grease fitting, and the right-hand side is a pressure relief fitting. Do not grease the pressure relief fitting. The slack adjuster is there on the top part. Make sure you clean it well before greasing. The front caliper is the same as the back, except the slack adjuster is upside down. Very few trucks have gear-driven speedometer cables. This one here does. The grease fitting is located in this general area of the gear-driven speedometer cable. If you have any questions or comments, please call the talkback line at 757-437-4816.
Welcome to Frontline News. Joining me here today in our studio is Kristen Marino from Fox 43 News. Kristen, thank you for taking the opportunity to come read with us.
Thanks so much.
I know it was a last minute.
Yeah.
I think I called you yesterday and asked.
Hey, you know, catching a fire, it's last minute. I'm used to this. I'm used to following you guys.
Well,
Glad to be here.
I really appreciate it. And for those viewing out there, if you would give us a brief history of your experience and where you're from.
Fabulous. Well, I've been with Fox News for about a year and a half here in Hampton Roads. I started in the business about 6 years ago in Miami, Florida as a writer and a field producer. I worked there for 2 years behind the scene, kind of got my hands wet with the business. Then moved on to Savannah, Georgia for a year where I was a one-man band reporting and producing and writing and filming with the camera. From there I went to Mobile, Alabama, where I was a reporter and anchor for 2 years, and then here. So I've kind of hopscotched around the South, but I'm glad to be in Virginia.
I know that we usually have celebrities here in the local area to read the news with us, and I really do once again appreciate that. And without further waiting, let's go ahead and start out with our stories.
Let's do it. All right. First off, Master Firefighter Leon Dextrotter became Captain Dextrotter back in October. Fire Chief Cade, members of the department, friends, and family were there to watch as Captain Dextrotter was presented his gold badge, and his son Dylan and his wife Leanne pinned it on his uniform.
Well, I've got a few things in mind, that I like to do, and I'm not really broadcasting a whole lot of that out right now. I'm going into a shift at some players that I've worked with before, and I've got a relatively good shift down there, and we're working hard to make everything work, and teamwork. We're just going to work together, and we're going to take care of business.
The Virginia Beach Professional Firefighters Combat Challenge team traveled to Las Vegas to compete in the World Firefighter Combat Challenge Championship in November. The team, Captain Hughes Jr. and firefighters Mike Baraki, Will Gerstein, John Keys, and Billy Reynolds were one of 36 teams from the USA, France, Canada, and Australia fighting to be called the best relay team in the world. Frontline Firefighter was there to capture the team, taking 9th in the world and 4th in the United States with a time of 1 minute 34 seconds 6. Team Sherbrooke from Canada finished first with a new record of 1 minute 25:14. The team had quite a show of support as family members traveled to cheer them on, and Captain George Hughes asked the team for a few comments.
All I want to do is thank everybody in the department who gave us all their support, and also I want to thank I had a great bunch of guys to come and compete with.
Just like to reiterate what Willie said. Thanks for all the support that you had. Especially thank the Professional Firefighters Union, Local 2924, for all the support they've given us. And thanks, guys, and we'll be back next year. Hopefully we'll be #1. Thank you.
Master Firefighter Gary Umflett held several chainsaw safety classes at the Fire Training Center recently. The class began with classroom instruction and proper use and maintenance of the chainsaws, carried on various apparatus in the department, and finished with students putting what they learned to use in a hands-on environment. Joining us now in the studio is Master Firefighter Martin Gribby from Ladder 11 C Shift. Martin, I understand you had the opportunity to go to Worcester in December?
Yes, so 7 Virginia Beach firefighters flew into the Worcester Airport on December 9th to attend the Fallen Firefighters Memorial. The irony of this, as soon as we landed at the airport, we were told by the pilot of the aircraft that the airport was closed. Vice President Gore and President Clinton were 4 minutes away or 4 minutes behind us. So sure enough, the plane landed, and there we were with all the Secret Service agents. We were stranded at the airport because there was no transportation for us, no taxis. So Instructor Frank Doyle here from the training center asked a state police officer and a Secret Service guy, can we get a ride with you guys? And sure enough, we ended up in the presidential motorcade in a van, and we drove from the Worcester airport to downtown Worcester in 9 minutes flat. Once inside the arena, we sat to the right of the stage, and there were 15,000 firefighters inside the arena and 20 to 25,000 firefighters outside the arena. It was a very moving ceremony. 15 children lost their fathers that day, December 3rd. So IAF Local 1009 up in Worcester, Massachusetts is selling T-shirts. And this T-shirt came out, this T-shirt order came out on the internet. Not everybody may have seen that. So here's a picture of the front of the T-shirt, and it just says, died in the line of duty, December 3rd, 1999, and it's got the box 1438, which is the 5, is a 5-alarm fire. And on the back, it's multicolored, the Worcester firefighters, Local 1009, and it lists all 6 firefighters' names with the helmet, and the last alarm, December 3rd. Now you can order these directly. It's small through extra large is $10 each, and if you want to add 50 cents per shirt for postage and shipping and handling. Double X is $12.50, Triple X is $14.50, and that is including shipping and handling.
And all the donations are going to go to the kids. 15 children lost their fathers.
That's correct. All the donations are going to the Memorial Fund.
Martin, a question for you also. I know maybe just in case people are wondering, not just firefighters can purchase these T-shirts, correct?
That's correct. It's open to the general public, and please, what I did at Company 11 is I printed out a order form, and I'll handle it just for Company 11. If somebody wants to do it for their own station, they can, and that way you get a big group order.
Great. Well, hopefully we can get this memorial built for these guys.
Great cause. Thanks so much.
You're welcome.
Members of the Virginia Beach Fire Department answered the call for help from one of its citizens in need on December 4th. Members on and off duty originally went to Lynn Haven Middle School to donate blood and to be screened for a donor match, but soon realized that their services were needed in other ways. Chief Sergeant explains.
Well, you know, certainly we wanted to play a part in this young man, you know, in the young man's ability to get bone marrow, but it really escalated from a basic attempt to assist into a mass gathering. I mean, we've had, they're predicting 15,000 people through here by the time the day is over. The guys at 8 have been working hard on controlling traffic. We had to call the police early this morning and tell them there was an issue starting to develop out here. They came out, Captain Severa came out. He dumped a tremendous amount of resources. We coordinated with EMS. EMS dropped a lot of resources on the incident. And this thing's going to go probably till, you know, 7 o'clock tonight. It looks like it's going to break the record for the number of bone marrow donation or blood drive donations for a single day ever in Red Cross history. So I think it goes to show what the fire department can do to influence and to get involved in the community. And I think additionally it shows how rapidly something can escalate from a simple drive to something that needs to be managed as a mass gathering with all the associated issues that go with large-scale mass gatherings.
Well, it wasn't long after our shift began that we saw there was a problem rising out with traffic, getting folks up here to help the young man. There are thousands of people showing up. At least we can do it here at Company 8A. And the rescue folks involved will start setting up the logistics for some parking. We set up some positive pressure ventilation inside the structure, inside the Lynn Haven Middle Auditorium here to help the folks out in there. We helped out the folks get all kinds of needles going for them. And in addition to that, our guys here at 8A have been hustling all day, just trying to keep people out of the mud. We had to pull 2 or 3 people out, but it was worth it, and we're going to keep on going as long as they need us.
With the help of the fire department, Chase, he called me on Thanksgiving Day. He said, "Hey, I'll have my guys there," which he said about 400, and I tell you what, it's probably 400 plus. I can't help. I mean, words can't express what's going on, and the outstanding support that I have from the city
and from the community and from our brothers and sisters is just unbelievable.
You know, Krista, we've been given some updated information since this story. Justin has been released from CHKD.
Great news.
He's currently in remission. And since December 4th, they screened 10,000 possible donors, but they weren't able to find one.
Right.
So they're still looking. And also he is going to be traveling to Duke University and participating in the bone marrow program down there.
What an incredible response from the community. We were out at Lynn Haven Middle School and waited in line. I too was, tested and so forth, and it was just incredible to see the community come together.
Yeah, it was.
You guys had a big part in that, so
Yes,
that was
we did.
great. Now, if you'd like to be screened to see if you are a match, you can call. If you're civilian, call 1-800-MARROW-3, and for military personnel, contact 1-800-MARROW-7. And they tell us that there are funds available for those who cannot afford the cost of those screenings. Chief Cade presented Master Firefighter Steve Lazinski with his gold badge on December 8th during a staff meeting. Captain Lazinski was accompanied by his wife and children at quite an audience to witness this occasion. Frontline Firefighter spoke with Captain Lazinski after the ceremony.
Well, it's very exciting. You know, it's something that I work very hard to do. It's, you know, for all the guys that are trying, you know, I've been told in the past that you've got to, you know, make the sacrifice and put in the time and get in the books and plan for the assessment center. And, you know, you hear it, and you really don't know until you actually do it. You know, this last year I did all right and I finished high, but you know, I was up till 2, 3 in the morning every shift at the fire station. And this morning was it was great. It was great to have the guys come down, you know, Engine Ladder 9, and you know, my brother was here and my family, and it was very exciting.
Captain Lazinski is assigned to Company 1B, and we will see him again later in the program.
6 members of the Virginia Beach Fire Department and 1 member of the Virginia Beach Department of EMS were recently recognized for their life-saving efforts by the Virginia Beach Safety Council on December 10th. The group, members of the Firefighter Combat Challenge Team and family, were traveling to Winston-Salem, North Carolina to compete when they rounded a curve near Route 58 in Lawrenceville, Virginia, and found this wreckage from a head-on collision by a tractor-trailer and a pickup truck. The team provided immediate care to the injured, fire suppression as the tractor was fully involved in fire, and assisted removing the pickup driver who was pinned in his truck for over an hour. I spoke with Master Firefighter Greg Benchoff about this award.
Okay, Rob. Well, the Virginia Beach Safety Council is a not-for-profit organization under the City of Virginia Beach, which provides grants to public safety agencies. What we did today was recognize 6 Virginia Beach firefighters and 1 ex-member of the Virginia Beach Department of EMS, and that was Allison P. Hughes, George Hughes Jr.'s wife. So we recognized these 6 members and Miss Hughes for outstanding public service. They were all members of the public service agencies in our city, and they worked outside of our city limits to protect the lives of a member of the community. So the Safety Council went together and they voted through a unanimous vote of our members to award them with this award.
Okay. Fire Station number 10 was the host again this year of the 6th annual Holiday Train Show. The show ran from December 5th through the 11th and was visited by more than 12,000 people. This show is in cooperation with the Tidewater Big Train operators, which included trains running on 15 separate tracks. Master Firefighter Keem Black and Captain Dennis Keene would like to express their special thanks to TBTO Club, Greenbrier Florist, and all members of Company 10 for their assistance and support of this endeavor. Tony McChesney was recently honored for her service to the Virginia Beach Fire Department during a luncheon held on December 15th. Tony has been with the department for 25 years, her entire career, and will be retired on December 31st. In attendance were many members, both present and former, to thank her for her dedication and leadership.
She came to work for us in September 1974, and I was very fortunate then to be in the training department. I was a lieutenant in the training department, and that's who she came to work for. She was my secretary the first day she got here. So it's kind of ironic, I guess, that 25 years later when she's retiring, she's again my secretary. And has been, this is the 4th different time that we've had an opportunity to work together for a great number of years of that 25-year period. And it's, she's more of a friend and an assistant and a co-worker than she is a sort of an employee.
I'm kind of looking forward to it, but I'm going to miss everybody. I've been with the fire department for 25 years, the whole time I worked for the city. And I've really enjoyed working with everybody and for all the people I work with.
Captain Foster and members of Company Number 5 provided some holiday cheer as they gave gifts to those children that are less fortunate during the holiday season. They presented the gifts to B. Stroud of Strawbridge Elementary on December 21st, and they took a moment to talk to Frontline about this very special program.
This is our giving wreath. This year, this is our Joy Fund. And what we do is children are selected from different people in our class, in different classrooms. And we put up the numbers and people come by and take tags down and they bring us the gifts back. And we make sure that we try to make sure that all the children in the school that names are on this wishing wreath gets a gift.
2 years ago, Ms. Stroud contacted Company 5 and asked us if we'd be interested in becoming members of their partnership and education program. And at that time, of course, we said yes, we would. This time we said, rather than just choosing 2 names, why don't we come down Friday afternoon, if there are any names left on the wreath, and we would take every name. All shifts, A, B, and C shift, all got together and donated money. We raised approximately $400 for the program, and we were able to purchase 22 gifts.
Tidewater Regional Fire Academy Class Number 69 with students from fire departments of Virginia Beach, York County, Hampton, and James City County graduate on December 21st. Each squad presented their icons to the training staff, and each squad leader was presented a certificate for their leadership over the past 5.5 months. Class valedictorian was Charles Rice II from Hampton Fire Department, and class president was Chris Makowitz, who had a special presentation from the class to lead instructor Kurt Southall. Special guest speakers were Congressman Owen Pickett and Deputy Chief Carter. Frontline spoke with Chief Carter after the ceremony.
Standing beside me is one of the newest recruits in the Virginia Beach Fire Department system, who happens to be my son, Michael. And what does it mean? It means an awful lot. 30 years ago, I was sort of one of the rookies. Actually, I was the only rookie 30 years ago who was hired. And it's nice to see him follow in the footsteps, even though throughout his young adult life, he swore up and down he would not do that because of what he saw. But I'm very proud of what he's done, and hopefully he'll make this into something that's been very, very good to me and very special to me.
Members of Engine 2C had a special visitor on December 30th. With that story, we go to Master Firefighter Jim Ingledude. Jim?
December 26th of last year, C Shift, Cleons, Captain Morris, and myself responded to an unconscious call about 11:40 in the morning. We found a 41-year-old male lying in bed, pulseless, apneic. We were able to use the AED and get him intubated and get IV access on him from the personnel off the engine. And I'd like to introduce you to Mr. Tom Crockett and his family. They've come by the fire station today to just kind of thank us and give us an update on his situation now and how he's doing today. So what I'll do is let Mr. Crockett tell you how he's doing and introduce you to his family.
Hi, my name is Tom Crockett, and it is a pleasure to be here. And I wouldn't be here if not for the reaction of the fire department. This is my wife, Susan, my son, Trey and Jonathan. This is my mom, Joan, and my brother-in-law, Kevin, and his daughters, Caroline and Christine. And it really means a lot for us to be here today. I did have a cardiac arrest. I have an internal defibrillator inside now. I was coded, and my wife, the first thing she did was call 911, and the response time of the station was about 3 minutes by the time they got the call and they came to our house. And immediately, the firemen, these 2 gentlemen right here, bagged me and put the portable defibrillator on me and shocked my heart twice and brought me back to life. If not for the quick reaction of the firemen, I would not be here. So I'm internally grateful for that.
Well, Mr. Crockett, so how was your recovery time?
Recovery time was fine. I was home for 4 months, which was which was nice. But I'm back now. I have full memory except for a week's time during the cardiac arrest. Feel healthy, and I work out every day.
Ironically, the memory loss that he had started roughly about the 22nd or 23rd of December. So this Christmas was a little bit special since he sort of didn't really have a Christmas last year. not being able to remember it. And as all of you know, so many times we don't have this kind of success story. So we really appreciate the Crockett's coming by to let us know how they're doing. And we say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And that's it from Company 2.
Battalion Chief Gigi Larson found the end of the 20th century to also be the end of a very long career with the Beach Fire Department. Chief Larson's career spans 25 years in the department. He was recently honored for his service to the community with a 25-year plaque.
Well, it's a obviously special day, the last day of the 1999 as we enter a new millennium, but it's a real special day for Battalion Chief Gigi Larson here. This is Chief Larson's last day in the Virginia Beach Fire Department. Chief, some thoughts going through your mind as you spend your last shift?
I don't really have nothing special. It's just been for me just a normal routine work day. I know I've had a lot of comments about different folks asking, well, you know, why don't you call in sick? But that was never my style. And when I was sick, I called in, but I'm good to go and I'm here.
Chief Cade presented 3 new captains with their badge on January 5th and congratulated them on the hard work to attain this position as family and friends looked on. Those promoted were Vance Cooper, George Hughes Jr., and Jim Todd. They spoke with Frontline after the ceremony.
It's quite a large step, but I believe I'm ready for it. The department's got me trained and ready to handle the situation. With that type of question, I would like to state, though, that, or say, and just thank everybody out there in the field who I've worked with and for, that's helped me learn the delicate balance between the fire department's family life and the business side of the house. It's really made the transition easy for me and really prepared me for everything I'm going to be fronted with.
Right now I'm working at 6A, filling in as Gigi Larson, the captain's down there, filling in for him, so I'll be at 13 and 6, and then I'm not sure where I'm going to go from there, but I'm good, looking forward to it. Everybody's treating me good down in the county, breaking me in nice and slow, get some good meals, get some good workouts in there, so it's a good time. I'm looking forward to it.
I guess the time I've been in, I've been fortunate enough to have a lot of people offer me a lot of training and you know, help in a lot of different areas. So I'm just hoping that I can offer the fire department the same thing. You know, the new people coming in, some of the people that have been in a while, and hope I can help make a big difference.
Members of the department were honored for their service to the city and community in a ceremony held on January 5th at the Fire Training Center. Members were given certificates for service of 5 to 20 years and a plaque for service of 25 years or more by Chief Cade. Also receiving awards were Captain Mark Pyland and Master Firefighter Bob Anderson by the Emergency Education Network for their work with the Video Production Department.
Well, Krista, that's it for General Frontline News. And when we come back, we'll go on the job around the city.
Hi, I'm Captain Gary Widener with another apparatus quick tip. 2 concerns that we have with the Pierce Quantums in operation during high water are, 1, that the air intake is at a low point on the truck, and the possibility exists that we can aspirate air into the engine. So know the location and know how high water that you can travel into with this apparatus. The second item we want to have a concern about is having the radiator fan strike high water. If it does, it can shear the shaft that drives this fan or the coupling that drives the shaft and the fan blade. You can check that during pit days or anytime you've been in high water by trying to rotate the fan. If you're able to move the fan, then it has already sheared that shaft. You need to call City Garage and get it down here before the truck overheats. For Virginia Beach Frontline Firefighter, I'm Captain Gary Widener.
Welcome back to Frontline News. Now let's go on the job around the city. Battalion 2, Engines 18, 38, 3, and Ladder 16 responded to a structure fire in the 1400 block of Winfield Drive on October 25th. Captain Hughes of Engine 18 was the first on scene and tells us what he found.
All right, we got on the scene. There was a heavy column of black smoke coming out of the top of the structure, heavy flames coming out of the window to my left upstairs. The door was open. We pulled the 1.5 inch line, went inside, and it was real black upstairs, called a second alarm. And me and Firefighter Johnson went upstairs and basically put the fire out. And 16's crew come in, and we continued upstairs to help us. We started pulling ceiling down, and we found more fire inside the ceiling. And basically 16 screw extinguished most of the fire in the ceiling. And we had smoke removal in place, and basically the fire went out, and all people on the job did a good job.
Battalion 1, Engines 8, 11, 14, and Ladder 8 responded to a possible structure fire in the 800 block of Seaward Lane on December 12th. Master Firefighter James Ramsey on Engine 8 was the first to arrive and describes the scene.
Okay, we're here on the scene, Engine 8, 11, 14, 3, hazmat, car 6. We pulled up, Seward Drive, back into the house was fully involved. We're luckily we had a hydrant right there. We knocked the bulk of it out from the outside, used 2.5, 2 inch and 3/4 lines, went on in. Luckily, most of the attic was exposed, ceiling they fall down, so we could reach most of that. We're here doing mop up right now, and we're still under investigation.
And this was the scene of a working fire on December 23rd in the 2500 block of Olympic Court. Battalion 1, Engines 3, 5, 18, and 54 from Oceana Air Base and Ladder 16 were all dispatched to fight this blaze. Safety 1 and Training 7 were the first on the scenes as Engine 54 arrived just moments later. Safety 1 set up command and all occupants were accounted for. Most of the fire was contained to the garage. Ladder 16's crew was ordered to vent the roof due to concerns of fire extension to the attic. One injury was reported by one of the occupants, and no injuries were reported by firefighters.
This fire was reported less than 40 minutes from the previous incident on December 23rd. Captain Lazinski of Engine 1 was first on the scene and was assisted by Engines 2, 4, 8, 23, and Ladders 2 and 8, and Battalion 2 and 9, and Cars 1 and 7. Captain Lazinski and Captain Miles of Engine 8 told us what they found.
We knew we had something as soon as we were coming down Great Neck Road. We had a large column of smoke, and we were still quite a ways out. So I knew that Steve, you'd be on your own for a little way, for a little while until we got in to help you out.
Our first line, we hit the main body of fire by some time. I had the second crew, which was Engine 8 and one guy. They were assigned to get in and find the access to the garage. The ladder crew took a line upstairs to cut off any extended fire. Oh, I would say we had a 15-20 minute firefight. I know we all went through about 2 bottles before we actually got her under control. Another thing that we did, I think, was very important is we called for help. We called for it early. Actually, we had a hard time maintaining a RIT crew because crews were needed on the interior.
Battalion 1, Engines 14, 11, 8, and Ladder 11 found a working fire upon their arrival at the 600 block of Virginia Beach Boulevard. Master Firefighter Joe Maynard was the first on the scene from Engine 14 and gave this report.
We pulled up, we had heavy fire coming out of the roof, coming through the ventilation system. We went around, made our walk around. We saw a door on the side. We made our attack through the side entrance where the majority of the fire was in the warehouse area where the cars are being repaired. We had a lot of fire involved between the warehouse and the showroom, and we put a pretty good knockdown on that. The fire did extend up into the attic, and that's what we're doing right now, some salvage and overhaul work. We had a pretty good operation overall. Nobody got hurt, and everything's going good.
Well, that's it for Frontline News. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Krista for being here once again.
Thanks so much. I had a great time.
I hope it wasn't too hazardous for you.
No, it was great. Had a lot of fun.
well, I appreciate that. And let's let everyone know out there in the viewing audience where we can find you at.
Well, of course, Fox 43 News can be seen on Fox 43 with an antenna, and hopefully we'll be able to get you back on cable real soon.
I hope so. Well, thanks again.
All right, thank you.
And that's it for Frontline News. We'll see you next time.
Hello everyone, welcome to this month's edition of Health and Fitness. I'm Firefighter Billy Reynolds with you here today at Farm Fresh off of Great Neck Road. In this month's segment we're going to discuss healthy diets and weight management. Today we have Beth Gerstein, who is a registered dietitian with Centera Norfolk General, and she deals with the cardiac rehab patients. Beth, welcome to this month's segment of Health and Fitness. Today she's going to discuss putting together a healthy diet and how we can maintain our weight. Beth, a big question firefighters have is how to maintain a good, healthy diet and control your weight, whether you want to lose weight or gain some weight. I figured we'd be starting over here talking about meats today. Why did you choose the vegetable section?
Let's take a look at some of these. Vegetables not only are low in calories, they are low in fat and wonderful sources of fiber. Fiber is a bulking agent to your diet. It can help you feel full but not provide you with the extra calories and fat. Something like this, 1.5 cups will only give you 15 calories, not to mention lots of vitamins and minerals. Fiber is important to help lower cholesterol levels, help control blood sugar levels, and not only that, but preventing constipation too, which I'm sure everybody knows about. The reason why I figured we'd stand here first is because a lot of times when we lead busy lifestyles, it's hard to just go home and make a salad. Bag salads are available now. You can just throw them in a bowl and even hit the salad bar and take a few vegetables that are already cut up.
Good. How important is it to get not only vegetables in your diet, but fruits also?
Extremely important. Fruits are also wonderful sources of fiber, plus vitamins and minerals that our bodies need for good functioning. You want to take a look at some of these? Or
sure. Let's take a look
walking
at
around,
some of
see
these
what we've got here?
Vegetables and fruits that we have down here. Well, this would be good for a diet, wouldn't it, Beth? Broccoli, carrots, snap beans, collards. One thing I want to ask, and a lot of firefighters have questions about, is serving size. What is a serving size?
Serving sizes for vegetables and fruits vary. This is an orange, and notice it's a medium-sized orange, not your jumbos. This is 1 serving. If you're eating a larger orange, you may be actually getting 2 servings per day. Our goal for fruits is at least 2 servings per day, and for vegetables, at least 3 servings per day. A serving size for vegetables that are green and leafy raw should be about 1.5 cups, which is about a tennis ball and a half if you want a practical measurement. If you're looking for cooked vegetables, think about a half of a tennis ball, or maybe about this.
Okay, great.
That's our goal for the day. And you can definitely do more than this. Notice how I'm holding an orange. I know a lot of people like to start off the day drinking a glass of orange juice instead of actually eating a piece of fruit in the morning, but you do get more fiber and more satisfaction from eating this orange.
I didn't know that.
You really do.
That's a good point you brought out. A lot of us probably don't know.
And when you're trying to control your weight, if you're sitting down to a very large glass of orange juice, you could be getting 300 calories as opposed to 45 in this orange.
That's a great point you brought out. I'm sure we'll all benefit from that.
It might be better if you like to drink juice in the morning to put a little bit of juice in a cup and fill the rest up with water. And that way you can get your water servings in. I remember you talked about that a few segments ago.
Livingston Cellars. Well, Beth, I hear a lot of pros and cons about having a glass of red wine maybe before dinner or after dinner. What is your personal feelings about this?
Well, you hit the key word with the word 1 glass, and moderation is definitely the key when you're thinking about having any alcohol. A glass of red wine per day may help raise your good cholesterol levels, which is very important. We want to have a lot of good cholesterol levels in our body to help carry our bad cholesterol from getting stuck to our arteries.
Okay.
But like here's red wine right here. Make sure that if you're not having a glass today, that doesn't mean 2 glasses tomorrow, and that also doesn't mean if you don't drink Monday through Friday, on Saturday you get to drink the whole bottle. That is 1 glass per day, use or lose, and make sure that you do check this out with your doctor if you are taking any medications, because some medications may have interactions with alcohol, and that could be pretty dangerous. But
did everybody get that?
Moderation is the key.
Wow, I love meat. This is my favorite right here. Man, I'm a meat and potatoes guy. We eat meat every night at the station. We have really good cooks in the fire department.
Let me see what you have here.
What do you?
Ribeye steak. Let me make a suggestion for you. Look at this cut of meat. Look at all this thick white fat. This is pure saturated fat. This is the type of fat that raises our cholesterol levels. Let me find you a healthier cut.
But that's the best part, is the fat.
If you're trying to cut back on weight, you're eating a lot of saturated fat with this, a lot.
Well, I think I'm speaking for all the firefighters in the field. We eat a lot of meat.
There's nothing wrong with eating meat, but we want to watch our portions. This is a good cut of meat. It's a round steak. If you can remember the words round, loin, and leg.
That's a lot of words for us to remember.
Round, loin, and leg. Those are our leanest cuts of meat. And you can get beef, veal, lamb, pork, and look at the marbling on this cut. Pick your thing up again. Look at the difference between these.
I see it now.
Now, marbling does provide meat with moisture, but you get a lot of saturated fat too, which we don't want. So what I would do is I would marinate this real well with some fat-free salad dressing or some juice or vinegar, something that you have on hand. Just marinate it in the refrigerator for a few hours before you cook it, and it should be great.
Now, I've got a question for you. What does protein do for us? How is it?
Protein is important for growth and repair of our body tissues, and we were talking a little bit about high protein diets, and the typical American gets much more protein that we need on a daily basis.
How much protein should we get?
How many ounces of meat per day do we need?
Yes.
The food pyramid recommends 6 to 9 ounces per day. Now, 3 ounces of meat is the size of a deck of cards. So we're looking at 2 to 3 decks of cards per day.
What about
not per meal, per day. And just remember the words round, loin, or leg, and you've got your lean cuts. I won't let you forget.
Well, great. Well, that's one thing I can take back to the station and to all the guys at Ladder Company 16, because every evening we're always having some type of meat, whether it's deer meat, and I know a lot of guys. And
well, venison is very lean. I would definitely
do
really?
that. That's something I didn't know.
And I also found this is shrimp.
Oh, I love
My cardiac
seafood.
patients ask me every day, am I allowed to eat shrimp? And the answer is yes. Moderate the portions, though. Shrimp is very low in saturated fat, and remember, those are the fats that raise our cholesterol
And it
levels.
also depends on how you cook your meat too, whether it's fried, boiled.
So what do you do at the station?
We usually fry all our meats.
Might be better to get out a steamer and steam the shrimp and serve it with some cocktail sauce, and back to the veggies. We can do salad and some bread, and you've got a nice balanced meal there.
We're over here at the soda aisle and picking up a Coca-Cola here. I'm not much of a soda drinker, but I know that people out in the field drink at least one of these a shift. Is that healthy? Is that good for your diet?
Well, if you look at one of these 2 liters, if a firefighter typically works 10 shifts a month, and you drink one of these a shift, this whole container has 800 calories. Multiply that by 10, that's 8,000 empty calories that you're consuming a month.
Okay.
It takes 3,500 calories to equal a pound. So you could actually lose over 2 pounds a month just by switching from soda to the water that we have right down there, drinking bottled water.
The question I want to ask you is, you said empty calories. What exactly are empty calories?
Well, all you're getting out of this is sugar.
Sugar? Okay, so that's empty calories. There's sugar.
You're getting no vitamins, no minerals, nothing.
And what are we reading here, looking at, so everybody knows in the field what we're looking at? That's
Hand up closer to this. This is a nutrition facts food label, and always look at your serving size first. Notice that a serving size is 8 ounces of soda. Most of us drink 12 ounces at a time anyhow. 100 calories per 8 ounces. That can really add up. The other issue with soft drinks is caffeine. Caffeine is a heart stimulant. It can make your heart beat faster and work harder. Also, it's a natural diuretic, so you can actually lose fluids. For each 8 ounces of a caffeine-containing beverage that you drink, you're actually only getting 4 ounces of it.
Really?
You lose the other 4 ounces because of the natural diuretic effect of the...
And I heard you say that water, we could substitute our caffeine and our sodas with water. So let's walk down to the water aisle here. Well, I picked this up when we walked past the water aisle. I noticed that I drink a lot of water when I'm on duty, that we're supposed to take in 8 cups of water a day. That seems like a lot of water to me. How can we cut down, if we think that it's too much water, a way that we can get all that in our diet? I mean, does it matter on glass size or what we're drinking?
I would definitely drink out of a smaller
glass.
It's much easier to fill that up more often than it is to drink out of a bottle like this per day. In fact, if you're drinking caffeine-free beverages, if you can try to get 4 cups of water plus 4 cups of caffeine-free beverages, Crystal Light, sugar-free Kool-Aid, they would count to water. But your diet sodas that are caffeine-free, at least try to get 4 cups of regular water.
Okay, well, great. I'll keep that in mind.
And even adding a little piece of lemon sometimes helps.
That's healthy too. I know, I see a lot of people out there, they cut up lemons and put them in their cups of water or glasses of water.
We haven't been to the dairy section yet. We probably should do that before we go. There's so many things we could talk about today, and with our short amount of time, I'll be happy to come back some other time. But let's just hit the milk section first before we go, and we can talk about some of these other foods.
Great, come on down. Let's go on down to the dairy section. Let's see here. Whole milk, that's what I need for my cereal tomorrow morning. Well, Beth, how do you feel about drinking whole milk compared to these others, which I don't really care for?
Whole milk is very high in fat, saturated fat, and calories, and I would gradually work towards tapering your milk down to either 1% or skim milk. And the consistencies of these two products are very different. Skim milk is a lot less creamy than whole or 2% milk.
It doesn't taste as good though.
What you have to do is you gradually have to start mixing your whole milk with 2% milk. Pour some of each in your cereal, some of each in your cup. Gradually start adding more 2% milk and less whole milk until you get used to the flavor of 2% milk. Yeah, and then once you get used to 2% milk, start doing the same thing with 1% milk. Then you can stay at 1% milk, or you can do the same with skim milk. It may take you 6 months to get used to the consistency, but once you start getting used to this, it will be part of your daily routine.
Well, look at the serving size here and also the fat content. You know, for one serving size here, you got 8 grams of fat for whole milk, and here you have 0.
And that's for only 1 cup.
Yeah, I see. If you need to control and maintain, you know, the optimal body weight, if you're on a diet,
you need to get your 2 to 3 servings in per day.
You could just switch.
You could be getting a lot of fat and saturated fat here, and just gradually start getting used to the.
Okay, that'll be something that I think we can all benefit from.
Definitely.
Well, Beth, you talked about a lot of good ideas today as far as maintaining a healthy diet and weight management. A lot of good information that I think we can carry back out in the field and we'll all benefit from. And there's a lot of areas that we didn't touch on today.
We didn't hit the frozen food aisle. We didn't talk about margarine. We didn't talk about a lot of things. We could do that next month.
Yeah,
and that's all right
I think,
with you guys.
If it's okay, and I'd like to have you back next month. And you really did a great job today, and I thank you for coming out here today. If anybody has any questions about today's segment, please don't hesitate to call the talkback line. The number's on the screen. Again, I'd like to thank Beth Gerstein for her time down here today at Farm Fresh on Great Neck Road. Until next month's edition of Health and Fitness, I'm Firefighter Billy Reynolds. Remember, stay fit and stay safe.
Welcome back to the studio, and joining me is Battalion Chief R.B. Alley. Chief Alley, as everyone knows, is the Chief of Training, and he's here today to discuss some issues on the FLT. Chief, thanks for joining us.
I'm glad to be here.
Now, I know the FLT meets on a regular basis, twice a month. What are some of the things you want to talk to us about today as far as what the team is doing?
Well, basically I want to give you an update on where we're at as far as the fire leadership team and where we're moving and how we're moving towards the strategic planning process. We've basically divided the focus areas into 4 basic focus areas for the future. Influence is a very important part of the future of this organization. We also have community relations and service delivery, how we're going to do that in the future. Another key component of which all of us have identified through our leadership traits that we asked everybody to give us some input on is leadership and what type of leadership we want for the future of this organization. And the last category we're looking at as a focus area is resources. What types of resources we're going to need in the future to move this department forward in the next 10, 15, 20 years.
When you say influence, can you just give us some examples of that?
Yeah, influence, one of the things we're looking at there is to be influential not only inside our fire department, but in city organization and also in the community. One of the important factors that we focused in on in developing the strategic plan is that we need to have influence inside the organization and outside. We feel like it's important for our department to be a go-to department, a department that is asked when we're developing new areas in our city, high-rise areas. For example, the expansion of the downtown city of Virginia Beach concept in the Pembroke area. You know, that's an area that we have a lot of interest in, and we like to be considered to be influential and having some input into some of the needs that not only fire department needs, but what the community will need in that particular area of the city.
Now, when you say community relations and service delivery, we hear a lot about community relations. We've talked about that for a while in the department. How does that fit in the strategy of the FLT?
Well, we know that that's one of the main reasons we exist as city government, to provide a service to our customer. During our last in-service, we talked about officer in-service, community relations and how it relates to marketing this organization. For the future of Virginia Beach Fire Department, we need to be involved in all the aspects of the community. We have many things that that we do every day that the community needs to be more involved in, and we need to be more involved with them, especially in the areas of emergency management, things that we can help them prepare for in case of a hurricane, different things like that. But we need to market the fire department in a manner that our citizens and customers that visit the city of Virginia Beach understand what we're here to do for them and what we can provide for them. And that's important to do. And one of the things that we're going to take that input from our officer in service, and Captain Widener is going to be making a presentation to the FLT talking about and outlining some of the recommendations that the department has for marketing the Virginia Beach Fire Department. Develop better community relations so we can deliver a better service.
Okay, leadership is another big topic, along with resources. How do they come into play?
Well, the leadership is definitely important. We know that for many years our organization has had many great leaders, and we're at a point now where there's a lot of the leaders are at a point where they may be heading towards retirement. So we're at a point of transition or passing the baton type of situation where our organization is developing or beginning to develop new leaders for the future. And one of the things we've identified through our leadership traits survey that we did was that we need to have an officer development school that addresses the issues of the future of this organization. We need to have a promotional process that really addresses the needs that the new officers of the organization will have to, give them some tools to face some of the challenges they're going to have in the future is definitely a key to it. Mentoring is a key to good leadership. One of the things that we've always done, the fire department is rich in tradition. Mentoring has gone on to some extent throughout the years, but we need to take a more aggressive role in mentoring our leaders for the future and preparing them to move up in the organization as some of our senior officers prepare for retirement and a well-deserved retirement, I might add. Worked very hard over the years.
Now, I know the FLT is doing a lot of work, as we said earlier, but of course I think people are anxious to see the strategic plan. We know that later this month the reorganization will come to fruition. Right. What is the timeline that the team sees for the strategig plan as you reveal that, as I guess the FLT reveals that to the rest of the department?
Right. We're getting into the home stretch, which is the good news for those of us who have been on the team since the beginning. It's been a long road. It's been a tough road. It's caused us to look within ourselves as individuals, as leaders in the department. It's also caused us to look outside the organization, some of the things we can improve as far as customer service delivery goes. So it's been a very treacherous, challenging undertaking. Where we're headed now is actually we have been meeting on a twice a month basis for the last couple of years trying to get this thing hammered out. But we're starting to speed up the process a little bit, and we'll have meetings before meetings to try to hammer this thing out. As far as the timeline goes, hopefully by April of 2000, we're hoping to have the product pretty much together and ready to deliver to the department itself. So April, May timeframe is a good estimate right now.
Okay. Well, of course, as always, if you have any questions of any of the segments you see here on our program, in particular, we hear a lot of talk about the FLT and the things that they're doing. And if you are out there in the field and you're watching this and you're saying, gee, I've got a question that I wish the FLT would answer for me, or that you may have about the process that they're doing, please give us a call here on the talkback line. I'm sure any of the members would also be glad to field in your questions, but we will certainly get back with you and give you the information that you need. Chief, as we close out, anything else you want to add about what the team's doing?
No, just let everybody know we're working very hard to try to finalize what we said we would do in our mission of the FLT, trying to get that strategic plan document prepared and ready to move us into the future of this organization, prepare everybody for what's ahead for us.
Okay. Well, we appreciate you coming by the studio and look forward to hearing the next report as we unveil the strategic plan that the FLT has for the department. Well, that's going to wrap up this month's edition of Virginia Beach Frontline Firefighter. Thanks for joining us. Again, don't forget about that talkback line. If you have any questions about anything you've seen on the program, in particular questions that you might have for Chief Alley or any other members of the FLT, we'd love to hear from you. So until next time, I'm Captain Mark Hyland. Take care.